This is a Logitech C920. This is a Logitech C922. This is a Logitech C930. That is an Unzano that I currently use on my Twitch stream. Come check me out 5 days a week. This is the latest Unzano that I just reviewed. You can check all these out in links down below. That's not why you're here, is it? And this is why you clicked on this video. I'm Dad, and hopefully I don't waste your time. All right, listen carefully. I've discovered something. It's pronounced fine. For those of you that have been wondering for quite some time, that is it. That is it. They've let me know. They've contacted me and they said, by the way, it's pronounced fine. All right, let's move forward. This is the K420 Webcam. 1440p, 30 frames per second. Fixed focus, 108-degree field of view, USB 2.0, cable length 4.6 feet. As you can see, the camera is very small. Inside the box also comes a nice little tripod. As you can see, compared to the Logitech C920, it is much smaller. The camera can rotate left to right, up and down. The camera does have dual microphones, but FIFINE makes some great cheap USB microphones. I recommend picking those up instead of using the webcam microphones. So satisfying. And that's it. The FIFINE K420. Now that we have the unboxing done, I'm going to go ahead and show you step by step exactly how to get it to work on your computer. So follow along, pause the video if you need to. Step 1, plug it in. All right, for some, you may actually have to restart your computer after it's been plugged in and drivers have been installed, but besides that, it's that easy. What I'm currently using is the Sony a5100, so I'm going to switch over to the webcam and we'll see how it looks right out of the box. All right, give me a second. So the only thing I've really done here is turned up the saturation a little bit, and then I messed with the lighting in the room. It doesn't take direct light or super bright light very well. So the strip behind me on the wall was turned off. A third light behind the monitor was turned off, and my super bright 18-inch LED ring was turned way down, and it looks a lot better. Now what I'm going to do, go ahead and I'm going to move it over on top of my monitor right here, and I'm going to compare it to the current camera that I have been using. So as you can see, the closer we get to the camera, the more obvious the fisheye lens is on this one, and that's how they can achieve such a small camera with such a wide field of view. So I would recommend staying a little bit farther back, or actually I think this camera would work really well with a green screen. Now I'm going to go ahead and compare it to the other two. And so there we go. We have that one right there. That is the Logitech C930, not the C920 that you're used to seeing. This is a C930, which has a wider field of view. After that is the Unzano, which, now that I'm looking at this, why do I use this one again? So if I compare it to this one with the FIFINE, it's quite obvious. The fisheye lens on it, you can see the difference. Now, one thing I want to mention is when you plug it in, you get this little red light. One thing this camera does that no other one does is that when it's actually being used by a piece of software, whether it be Zoom, Skype, OBS, whatever you're using, there's also a green light. So another +1 for you guys. Well done. Overall, is this camera right for you? Well, that depends. I would say this camera really goes to the top of the charts if you're in a tight space. If you're recording, if you need it, and you're in a small area and you need to fit a lot in, sort of like my situation, because for those of you that don't know, I stream and record my videos out of a closet. That's right, that's the door to the closet behind me. So a camera like that works really well because the way it can shift and move and tilt is huge, because if I put it up against the Unzano right here from this angle, as you can see, the tilt on this camera, it starts to get a little wonky when it's at an extreme angle. So the FIFINE K420 right now is all the way on the far edge of my 49-inch monitor. You saw the Unzano, what happens with that one. Let's see what happens with the C930. That's right. This camera doesn't tilt in that direction, only up and down. So again, I'd go with this one. All right, I'm going to go over the specs on this camera and give you my summary. It says it's 1440p, which I do think it looks better than the other cameras in quality, but I don't feel like it's exactly 1440p, so I'd say it's somewhere in between. 108-degree field of view it is, but it does it with a very strong fisheye lens, which makes things on the edges distort quite a bit. Its size, it's a lot smaller than any of the other webcams that I own. The privacy screen is a plus for a lot of people. It's fixed focus, which means that no matter how far or close away I am, it's still going to look good. 30 frames per second? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's great. The frames per second is at least 30. Again, the coloring is fantastic. The lighting, it doesn't take a lot of lighting for this camera. If you have too much light, it will blow out and it won't look great. So I suggest some dim lighting, and it seems to thrive. If you decide to go with this one, I suggest that you make sure that you are in the center and that whatever else you want to display is in the middle, because once it moves towards the outside with that fisheye lens, it is going to distort a bit. Now, the big question, am I going to use it? Actually, I just might. I'm going to try it out for my gaming webcam, which I use a green screen. So like I said, I really like the colors in it. The colors are fantastic. They're dead on. This is the color of my shirt. This really, how you're looking at the color of this shirt, that is the color of the shirt. And my eyes, that is the color of my eyes. So I do love that part of it. The way it can move and tilt in so many different ways, even more than the Unzano that I've boasted so much about before in the past, even more. What's I want to say?
If you only got a mustache.
Mustache. Play with me here, right? Be nice.